Hello everybody, welcome to today's episode of Everyday Waffles, where we all know that I hate food, but I love waffles. And we are a part of our journey of around the world in 3 days, landing back in the US, and then taking one final epic adventure on the next day. So, we started off with Taco Tuesday, where we learned a lot of interesting facts about Mexico. Today, we are coming to you live, yet not live, from the lovely continent of Asia, where today we're going to be learning some amazing facts. But before we do that, I had to put a lot of things in pre-motion for the day's epic waffle. Like we know with all waffles, it may or may not fail. But before I do that, let's get into some thank yous. So I want to do a big shout out to the lovely human beings. One, a brand new friend of the castle. Huge shout out to you. You are amazing. And the other is to the Aveda Arts and Science Institutes of Seattle. They have an amazing arrangement of things they can do at student pricing. Why do we want to support students? Duh, obvious. These are the most amazing human beings learning a craft. They're learning body work. They're learning how to take us to a beautiful level. Come on now. This is like Aveda. Thank you. The Arts and Science Institute of Seattle. You guys, especially Jade and Natalie, big shout out because we got to learn a couple new contouring techniques that we did not know before. So, before we get really going on today's episode, let me tell you everything I have prepared because a lot of things had to get going in advance on this. So, for the Chinese zodiac waffle recipe, the year of the snake, the matcha green tea waffle with a black sesame seed syrup, candied ginger with pear scales with a sugar topping. Okay, so the waffle ingredients are 1 3/4 cups flour, 1 teaspoon matcha powder, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon baking powder, a half teaspoon salt, 2 large eggs, 1 3/4 cup whole milk, 1/3 cup unsalted butter, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Now these all had to sit for about 15 minutes, so that's why we just got everything pre-prepared. It was a lot of fun. And then, while we're gonna be letting that sit, I'm gonna be toasting up some amazing black sesame seeds. I'm gonna toast them, then I'm gonna ground them up using my mortar and pestle. Kids in Colorado, I love you. Then I'm gonna be adding in 1/2 cup honey, 1/4 cup water, a teaspoon of soy sauce to add in there. I think I might just up that scotch just a little bit and go with a tablespoon, just thinking. Then on our toppings, on top of the waffle, I'm gonna be taking a pear thinly sliced to make our year of the snake decoration on top. Then I'm going to be using some candied ginger, some fine sugar sprinkles on top, and I'm going to be going with a little bit of Asian pear vinaigrette on top just to kind of bring things together. So while I get work in the kitchen, and enough about mine, let's go to the amazing Dutch to teach us some history. And then we're going to be learning some amazing things from the wonderful, the Reaper. I'm going to get to work. Take it away, Dutch. Why are we here today? And why are we in Asia?
We're celebrating the year of the snake in the Chinese zodiac. The zodiac itself was created in ancient China during the reign of the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor was in charge of the heavenly gates, and he wanted some animal companions to help guard the heavenly gates. And he decided a method to determine how and in what sequence each animal would be on what was to become the Chinese zodiac calendar. So the way he determined that was through a race that he set up. You had to cross a river and then run across a straight piece of land to the heavenly gate, and depending on the order in which you arrived at the gate would depend on the order in which you would appear on the Chinese zodiac. So we put out a call for all the animals to come and be part of the race. So the animals started on the bank of the river, and each one of them tried their best to cross the river so that they could be first in line. However, one of the fastest animals was the ox. And the ox was swimming fast, but however, the rat was right behind him and didn't think he would be able to beat the ox, but he decided, okay, I'm going to hitch a ride. So he jumped on the head of the ox. And as a result, when the ox got on land and started to walk or run towards the gate, the rat jumped off the ox's head and beat him to the gate. Therefore, the rat was the first animal in the Chinese zodiac, followed by the ox and all the others in sequence.
All right, so that brings me up to the fact that I actually am a rat. So, what if, let's see, I'm a rat, you're a
dog,
and you're a
dragon.
If a rat, a dog, and a dragon walk into the bar, go to the bartender and say, I would like a fill in the blank. Keep going.
Some characteristics of the snake. The snake was the sixth animal in the 12-year zodiac cycle, and the snake symbolizes wisdom, growth, and transformation. People born in snake years are traditionally regarded as charismatic, intelligent, and creative, but also strategic, mysterious, and stubborn.
I don't think I know of anybody who's mysterious and stubborn. Do we? Infomercial brought to you by Ready Whip. Keep going, please.
How the Chinese family celebrated the Chinese New Year. First of all, prior to the New Year celebration, they would clean thoroughly their home before the official start of the holiday to rid the home of the previous year's bad luck and usher in good luck for the coming year. One of the things they did was also decorate their home with the color red. In Chinese culture, red symbolizes joy and good fortune. So they would paint their doors, they would hang lanterns and banners with the color of red. Then formal celebrations would start with a family reunion and dinner the night before the New Year. And on New Year's Day, they had a large gathering of family and friends who gave oranges, gifts, and red envelopes of money.
Where's my money?
The celebration was also featured lion dances, fireworks shows, prayers for prosperity, feasts, including traditional holiday foods such as sweet and sour pork, shrimp, dumplings, spring rolls, tangerines, and whole fish.
That is amazing. So, while you've been talking, I've been effing around the kitchen. So, and trying to play with chopsticks. So right now, what I've got going in here is a sauce that I'm now going to heat up. While this batter is still kind of all forming together. This beautiful green color from the matcha. But yeah, once again, oh my God, we are experimenting like crazy on this. But you know what? Why not? It's waffles. It's amazing. And look at these amazing outfits that we get to wear. Reaper, please, the lovely Reaper, please tell us all about what it is that I am wearing tonight. And then we'll talk about the lovely Dutch.
Oh, I definitely. So before I begin, I first want to mention that these costumes are authentic, but I will point out there are some inaccuracies. So please don't jump in the comments. Please be kind. I'm just pre-warning you now if you guys are historians in costuming as I am. So let us start with Brian. Brian is wearing what is from China. It is called the qiangsen. It is a special attire, traditional Chinese attire that is still worn to this day. And it had quite an evolution. It was an inspiration from the old court dress from the last royal dynasty. And around the 20s, they wanted to design a style that had a little bit of tradition but modern twist. And it was quite a popular garment. Special ladies were photographed and even painted on postcards and little tin containers.
Ooh.
I forget what they were properly known as. But
Special ladies. Sounds like something I might be interested in if it was, well, like we left the Tijuana story alone. Keep going.
So these ladies, I forget what they were called, but some of the nicknames were Shanghai Beauties, but a more well-known name for them, and I apologize if it's a little, not very not very proper.
Risque.
Well, not risque, but
Ooh,
not proper.
Proper.
Chinese pinup girls. And not the kind that you would see wearing swimsuit or anything. These were women that wore beautiful dresses, the exact style that Brian's wearing. A loose, slightly loose, but still elegant. It did, even though it was loose, it still had like a fitted shape, but it maintained tradition. And today, the qiangsen of today is more fitted and is slightly more shorter, and the slit is a lot higher. What Brian is wearing is what a regal rich lady would wear. Low slit up to the knee, very elegant pattern-wise. And it's a summer style, so it's made of a fine cotton, but still an elegant pattern.
Amazing. So, Dutch, my loveliest best friend and historian, oh my goodness. Please, what is the beautiful outfit that the lovely Dutch is wearing tonight? Okay, take it away, Countess.
So Dutch is wearing a Japanese traditional attire. This is a kimono, but it is known as the tamasode. It is a formal style kimono. And Dutch, if you could stand up a moment so everybody can see. So before we begin, I will mention this is not a traditional obi. This is a mock-up of an obi. So I want to apologize for that right now, but it is tied up like a summer obi style for the yukata. But what he is wearing is a tamasode. It's for formal occasions. These were worn for weddings, tea ceremonies, and as well as New Year's. And another special reason why I chose this kimono for tonight is the pattern is known as the collection of mirrors. All these patterns that you see here are little ancient Japanese mirrors, but one precisely that sticks out is this phoenix one that's right here. Now the phoenix is a Chinese symbol for the empress, but according to this variety of stories, the phoenix is a sign of rebirth, something new, like out with the old, in with the new. And since we are celebrating New Year's, we're saying goodbye to the old year and welcoming the new year. So
we're not talking about age differences, though.
True.
Just, I'm the older one, he's the younger one, just in case there was anything. Oh, that's the baby. Keep going.
So, as I mentioned, this is not fully traditional, so I apologize for that for anyone who is watching. I noticed some differences. So, with the tamasode and every other kimono, except for the yukata, they would wear layers. They would wear something called the juban, which was the undergarment, and then maybe a special decorative slip as well. And sometimes they would have a third layer before the actual main kimono itself. And with the summer kimono, they didn't really wear a juban. They may have worn a slip, but since it was more summery, it was more of a lighter garment, so they would just wear their chosen slip, the kimono, and then the traditional obi that went with the yukata. But with Dutch's, he is wearing the tamasode, which is for formal occasions, like I mentioned, tea ceremony, weddings, and of course, New Year's.
Lovely. Oh my goodness. So, in these celebrations, I've learned a little bit, but I want to learn a lot more about the celebration, about the home life of these celebrations from our grand historian, who like I say, I've been listening to these stories for 13 years, and I don't really get repeats because there's so many. A man of amazing wisdom. Please tell us more, Dutch.
in Chinese households, they would prepare, like I mentioned earlier, by cleaning their homes and bringing in the New Year's good luck and the past year's bad luck.
Wow. Okay, so there's been a fuck ton of bad luck going on around here, and there's gonna be a fuck ton of good luck coming around here. Just saying. I am calling this the year of community. That's my blessing on this year. This year is gonna be the year of community. Just ask our special new friends of the house. The castle has been welcoming in some of the most amazing human beings as the space has been cleared out for those people. It's lovely to have these wonderful friends of this house here, especially as I am a house full of people taking care of this body, and now a house full of fun as we re-experience the joy of cooking. So I'm gonna be assembling while we talk, and the smells coming out of here are fucking amazing. So I'm gonna let you boys just keep on talking while I work on assemble and go. Put them on the spot.
Another thing about the Japanese kimono, sometimes the family would add their family crest. Now, before we go into details about that, I no longer have my book of Japanese crest, so I can't tell you, but Dutch's kimono has a family crest on it, which is normally seen on the sleeves here, as well as the center back. It's all the same symbol. Sometimes the symbol might be merged with another family crest if there is a fusion with the families. So what he has, I believe, is Tokugawa. I could be wrong, so don't come at me at the comments, but I could be wrong. But like I said, if I still had my book of Japanese family crest, I would be able to decipher what family this Tomasoda came from. This Tomasoda is also vintage. It came from between, I want to say, early 80s to around the 90s. It is vintage, and it has a nice kind of creamy gold inseam, as you see here. And it would be, like I said, it would be worn with layers. For example, if we did have all the layers, it would probably be a solid white jubin. And his obi would probably be either gold or white gold with a kind of small detailed decorative floral design or an intricate pattern of reds and golds, but very subdued, very flowy, not too lively. And the obi style would be the Nagayo obi, which is a very interesting obi. It's almost like a folded style. I wish I had images to show you the difference between the obis, but the Fakura obi to me is more like a folded style in the back, while the more bigger kimono obis that are like kind of bow style, like really big and like really patterny and florally, those are the Fakura obis, which is mainly worn by the younger women or the young geisha, which are known as maikos, and it's also the most heaviest. However, the best part of the Fakura obi and the Nagoyo obi, when you sit down, which they normally sit down on the floor on their knees, it acts like a back cushion, so it's almost like an invisible chair without legs. So they have like special back support when they sit down.
Well, I love that special back support. I'm all about that. All about that. Okay, so I got my first waffle going. It's assembled. And then I'm going to work on the other two before I do the presentation. All right. So, our lovely historian, how about an amazing fact about when you first went to China?
I first went to China in 1993 as part of a group of 15 world history teachers. We had a grant through Ball State University in the state of Indiana to study China and bring information about modern and ancient China and artifacts that we'd find on a trip back to our classroom. We studied Mandarin Chinese one summer prior to going on the trip. We also studied modern Chinese history before we actually left, and that was through Ball State University. We went to China in 1994, and we stayed at the Shanghai Teachers University, took classes, and also made tours, going to Beijing to see the Temple of Heaven, the Forbidden City, going to the Great Wall, then also traveling in different parts of the country. We went to Guilin. If you've seen any of the watercolor paintings with unusual mountain scenes.
I was looking for the book you brought back.
Guilin.
I couldn't find it. Anyway, keep listening.
One of the unique features, besides the shape of the karst mountains, they're unbelievable. They don't even look real, because it is limestone, and the water and rains over hundreds of years has carved them into strange shapes. I enjoyed watching on the Lee River the cormorant fishermen. They had a little raft, and the raft had like a basket in front, and the fishermen would tie a string around the neck of the cormorant bird. Cormorant is a large water bird that dives in and gets the fish. So actually the bird was doing all the work. So
Obviously, right?
the wealth of the fisherman was determined by how many cormorants he had. Because the more birds you had, the more fish that the birds would dive for, bring up. The fisherman would take the fish out of their beak and put it in the basket and then take it to market. We also went to see the first emperor's tomb, and we saw the army of clay soldiers, which was an amazing feat that was accomplished by that first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huangdi. In addition to that, we also went to some imperial gardens in Shanghai. We actually went into a modern hospital and saw not only the traditional acupuncture and acupressure and moxibustion practices.
Moxie what?
Moxibustion is where they would use a Bunsen burner, and they would take out all the oxygen from a little globe, and then they put the globe on your back. They would suck in the skin, and it was for relieving muscle pain.
I think that's what we commonly know as right here as cupping, maybe.
Cupping, yes.
Okay.
And they call it cupping here. And we also saw they had modern scanning machines of all kinds, CAT scans, and just about anything you'd see in a modern hospital here as well. So they had the old mixed with the new. We saw all the herbs that they would use. It goes back thousands of years, their medicines. That was one part of the hospital. And the other part was the very modern, so it was a combination of both. We also attended a trial in court where a man had stolen a bicycle, and the end result was he had to go to and he had to go to a working like a prison for 10 years.
For stealing a bicycle.
Because bicycles were the main means of transportation at that time in 1994.
Different cultures. Remember, we are going around the world in 3 days, stopping back by the good old US of A, and then going on a huge, grand, one last leap. So we learned about Mexico yesterday, Now we're learning about some amazing things that happened on the continent of Asia. Uniqueness in a waffle. Take it away as I work on my last plating.
So some other interesting things, when we traveled, we always went with a member of Shanghai Teachers University as our guide, and they were responsible for our well-being and to make sure that our travel was smooth as we took plane rides from one point to the other in China. We also traveled to Hong Kong. At that time, Hong Kong was still under British control.
Actually, the lovely Bruce Shipyard gave me an amazing knife that I have. This is a great hero of mine. That is from British Hong Kong. It
Awesome.
says it on the knife from British Hong Kong. Her first husband gave this to her as a lady's knife. She's like, what the fuck am I gonna do with a lady's knife? Pray it hits him in the eye when I throw it? Fuck that shit. I know. I love Ruth. Anyway.
Some of the trips that we made that really were meaningful to me were, I like ancient history.
No
And
shit, right?
That is my specialty. So walking on the Great Wall of China, oh my God, was that an awesome experience. Going into the Temple of Heaven and the beautiful
But that's not here?
architecture.
I thought this was the Temple of Heaven.
Yes, it is.
Oh wait, no, this is Unicorn Castle in the
Unicorn
Sky.
Castle in the Sky. And also, my favorite place that I wanted to make sure that I saw was the Forbidden City, because that is a
Now that's
unique
you.
place. That was for the Chinese, that was the center of the universe.
Yeah, Forbidden is the center of his universe. Just saying, just saying.
So
I'm
that
not
is
so
where
wrong.
the emperor lived, and his courtiers and his many wives, and that was a very beautiful, splendid, multi-palaced structure.
Jealous much, bitch? Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Oh my God. You know, it's like, that is, you know, the wonderful fun thing, okay, one, he's my best friend in the whole wide world, but also, he's just a school shorter than I am, like by a year. So, you know, the power of learning, why the fuck would you go Google something when you can call a friend? Hey, I want some history knowledge. I think you're a historian. That's what you need to do, people. If you want to know some facts and you know somebody that knows some facts, give those people a call. Just saying, you're gonna learn a lot more. Speaking of learning a lot more, we now have our Year of the Snake matcha candied waffles with a lovely ginger, pear. It's just, I think, guys, this is going to be a special treat to start off our Chinese New Year just right. Let me show off each and every one of these. Look at that beautifulness. All in a waffle. That's that beautiful snake. The lovely Reaper.
Thank you.
I would say use your chopsticks, but you know what? Chopstick on a waffle?
Ooh,
May not go too well.
May not
too
go
difficult.
Well.
That was beautiful. Fantastic.
And then one last one for
Awesome
me.
presentation.
Yes.
What do you think, guys? All right, so now we're gonna be going into this. Now remember, as we take a bite, we're going into fresh pear, fresh candy. This is actually also I used a Asian pear vinaigrette on here to kind of blend things out. We have a toasted sesame seed in here. We've got candied ginger. We've got a matcha waffle base recipe. These boys are already trying it, but let's go. All right, everybody. Some melody of flavors in here.
Oh, it is.
All right,
And the
Reaper.
crispness.
Tell me, what are your thoughts on this one?
I like it. It reminds me of something. I can't place what it is, but it reminds me of something. When you have all three, like the sesame seeds with the ginger and a little bit of the pear with the waffle all in one. It's very sweet, you know, it's like a very dessert, it's a dessert. It's almost very desserty.
That's what's going with this one. It's a nice, fresh, desserty one. I would ask this bitch, but he's gonna be eating like stuff in his face. Let me go for mine. Here we go.
And I like the sugar that you put on it, the sparkling different
No.
rainbow sugar.
Okay, wow. Now we know this is holy shit of a waffle. Tomorrow, we're going to a different country, different continent. And then, the day after that, we're on a surprise epic journey. Bye, guys.